Kurt, how do you manage to run a pop career from Bath? It seems the unlikeliest of places.
Yeah, well, it's not hard to run one from Bath. I mean, it's a conscious decision to stay out of London. A main reason, musically, it's a good reason, because you become too involved in the music scene and music in London. A lot of people who live in London get so wrapped up in it that they can't look at anything objectively. They're just, you know, too involved in it 24 hours a day. And two, if you're busy all the time, it's nice when you actually have time off to go somewhere which is quiet and relaxed. So there can only be advantages, or have been for us, working in Bath, I think.
I've been sort of strumming the guitar and writing songs since the age of 9, so it's like something I've always done. But when you reach about 13, some boys' voices break, right? And if you're a bit unlucky, yours doesn't. And what happened was, I heard Kurt singing along to a record in his bedroom, and his voice had broken, and it just sounded a lot better than mine.
Yeah.
And that's when it started, really. He just started singing for a group I was with.
Since then, Roland's voice broke about a month ago now. I'm out of a job.
Did you, how much work did you put in preparing it? I mean, was it very difficult to break through and get a recording contract?
Well, we were with several groups, and one of which sort of did a lot of live work and touring Germany and that kind of thing, without much success. And we were unhappy doing that, so we decided to do something on our own.
Why were you unhappy?
Well, because there was that old work ethic cropping up, in such that the harder you work, the more gigs you do and the more equipment you lug about, the more likely you are to be successful. And that's not true at all. What we actually found is if you don't do a lot and just make really good music, then you're more likely to be successful. So that's why we formed Tears for Fears. So we didn't want to play live. We just wanted to do recording and learn about the recording process more and more, which is something which a lot of people are doing nowadays.
So how did you do that? You went and locked yourself away somewhere?
Yeah.
Well, what happened was we were at this gay vegetarian disco, and
in Bath.
Yeah, in Bath, yeah. And some guy came up to us and said,
who was a vegetarian but not gay.
He said, "Do you want to record in my 8-track studio for free?" And we said, "Yeah, okay, fair enough." And we demoed one song first of all, which was called Pale Shelter. And we only had 2 songs, Suffer the Children and Pale Shelter, when we approached Phonogram. And they heard the 2 songs and signed us pretty much straight away.
And why Tears for Fears? How did that come about, Kurt?
Well, it's sort of a long explanation in a way. I'll try to sort of condense it in some way. I was reading a book, and there's a chapter on children's nightmares. It's going to sound really heavy now. And all it was putting forward was the fact that children, it's a theory that maybe children dream up monsters in their sleep. You know, how children have nightmares and are scared of monsters. And the reason that they actually do invent the monsters is because they can't admit to themselves who they're really scared of, which is the first stage of it. Then they went on to say that it was really bad that children aren't allowed to be themselves, aren't allowed to cry when they want to. I mean, a lot of certainly the Victorian attitude in family today is, don't cry, it's bad, especially if you're a boy, you shouldn't be crying, shut up, you know, don't want to hear it. So for a start they've got to repress that, they're not allowed to cry or whatever. And to cut a long story short, it was like a tears as a replacement for fears was what it was saying. I mean, it went into it in a lot more depth, but I mean, it would take too long to explain. So that's how it came about.
I think we've got the gist of it. And how do you cope with the pressures that always seem to be on people in the pop world? How do you cope with them?
We don't.
Well, no, we don't.
Kurt, you don't?
Well, you can't. I mean, you just go on, and I suppose I don't know. There's no really answer to coping to them. I mean, it just becomes a headache in the end. Like at the moment, it's the wrong time to talk about it because we're not coping very well at the moment.
Aren't
We're in
you?
the process of a single that, say, we loved and maybe the record company didn't, or whatever. It's just sometimes you get into disagreements, which is all part of the business, you know. I mean, it's bound to happen in the future and has done in the past, but it affects you for the time, you know.
Does it knock your confidence when that happens, Roland, about your material?
Yeah, quite honestly. I don't know, it's just, there seems to be this thing is that once you become successful, that you should keep pumping out singles, keep a high profile, get your face in the press, go to all the London nightclubs, and get your pictures, stuff, you know. But I think that that's a negative thing. What happens to most people is they come up with a very good first album, and then from then on it's downhill, and that's so common with most groups, and that's why it ends eventually, and that's why most people's careers are very short. We don't really want to fall into that trap. You can do it again if you just take the time and sit back from it.
How long does it take you to write a song normally?
It depends. Mad World was written in about 20 minutes.
You must have felt very strong about that.
Yeah, I did. At the time, especially because all the lyrics were finished, which is funny, a very unusual thing. Normally lyrics take the longest.
My biggest shock was Pale Shelter not being a hit.
First time.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I was so confident in myself that that was a natural hit record that was probably my biggest disappointment as far as our musical career goes, because at that time, and up until Mad World, I just thought, oh, maybe I'm wrong. I mean, once you start losing faith in yourself, your own decisions and taste, but then it was a hit second time round. I mean, it just, you know, there were various reasons. You can't just go on your own tastes and thoughts, because there is a sales force out there that have to sell it as well. And, you know, what happened was, apparently, was that everyone thought it was a natural hit. So consequently, people didn't think they had to work too hard on it because it was so good that it would just be a hit record. And that's probably one of the reasons why Mad World was a hit, because they were so annoyed with themselves for not making that one a hit, not working on it too hard, that they really worked on Mad World to make it a hit record, to make up for it. So, yeah, that was a disappointment when Pale Shelter wasn't a hit.
What did you especially like about Pale Shelter?
The song, it's probably, I mean, so far it's the best song we've released. As a song, it just is, well, I mean, it's a great song, melody-wise, and the arrangement of it is perfect.
How important is money to you, Roland?
Money? Who needs money? It's important in such that because I come from a council estate and all those things, it's important for me to rise above that, because I don't know, it's just we never ever wanted to be working class heroes or anything like that, to be honest with you. So yeah, it's quite important.
It's important to me.
No, when you say you want to rise above it, you mean get away from it?
Yeah, yeah, because I wasn't brought up in a very nice place, and I wasn't happy to stay there. And you really can only get away from that with money, really.
And now you've got to the other side. Is it as green as you imagined?
It's just another place. That's all.
Is it any better?
It's less violent. It's more peaceful. Yeah.
This is good and how you judge better, isn't it? Really?
Yes. How important
there
is
are
money to you?
Well, it's, I mean, I like to live comfortably, put it that way. But money doesn't really solve anything. I mean, a big thing for us is because of the backgrounds we come from. Money's a way of getting away from something that you didn't enjoy. The background you came from, basically. So it's not to raise above it. It's not as if you're looking back and looking down on it. You know, it's a painful thing that you went through. So you wish to get away from it.
When you're up there on stage, is that in any way a compensation for the love you hadn't had earlier?
No, not really.
Do you feel love, though, coming from the audience? What do you feel?
I don't know, it's no real mystical experience, I've got to be honest with you. I don't feel suddenly full of adrenaline and, hey, wow, look at me, kind of thing at all. It's just another place, really.
How do you feel, Kurt? Do you feel is it an emotional
Yeah,
experience for you?
some nights it's great. I mean, you do get going and the audience are really brilliant as well. But I always come off stage with the impression that you'll always still struggle for more. Whatever, they can love you to the floor because of the way you feel. They can never give you what you want. You know, they can't replace things you haven't had before or anything. So you're always going to want more and more and more. And it's never completely satisfying.